Halo para peneliti Indonesia, saat ini saya berada di Tuanan, suatu daerah di Kalimantan Tengah. Pada saat ini kami sedang melaksanakan program Bioeksplorasi Tuanan, yaitu mencari bahan-bahan alam yang nanti dapat kita gunakan untuk keperluan kesehatan, keperluan medisinal di masa depan. Jadi di dalam program ini kami akan mengeksplorasi baik itu tanaman-tanaman hutan maupun jamur-jamur yang ada di hutan di Tuanan ini, dan kemudian nanti kami akan meneliti apakah jamur-jamur dan tanaman itu memiliki efek antibakteri, anti jamur ataupun anti cacing. Alat yang kami gunakan atau metode yang akan kami gunakan nanti adalah metode baru yang disiapkan atau yang dipreparasi oleh Profesor Ilya Raskin dari Rutgers University. Beliau sudah mengembangkan satu metode yang cepat sehingga kita bisa secara mudah di lapangan langsung melakukan screening apakah bahan alam itu memiliki efek antibakteri, anti jamur ataupun anti cacing. Itulah yang akan kami gunakan di sini, dan sekarang kami siap untuk pergi ke lapangan untuk mencari sampel-sampel tanaman obat ataupun jamur-jamur yang diduga berkhasiat yang 3 tadi, antibakteri, anti jamur ataupun anti cacing. Oke, mari berangkat.
Yeah, well, we're here with the Global Institute of Bioeksplorasi, which is part of Rutgers University. And what we do, we promote the natural product research throughout the world. Usually our graduate students, our postdocs, go to different countries and work with local scientists to enable the discovery of natural product-based medicines. And the approaches we use are different. We call it bioexploration approach, whereby we basically teach people and scientists in many developing countries how to actually identify and validate the biologically active compounds from plants. So on this specific trip we'll be focusing on teaching and enabling the methodologies which allow the discovery of novel bioactive natural products, specifically with antimicrobial activities. So Sarah Skubal, who is a graduate student with Rutgers University, basically the process and this educational module which we're going to present consists of 2 parts. The first one is very rapid way of extracting plant materials which conserves its bioactive properties, which conserves the pharmacologically active compounds which can become future medicines for humans. And the second part of what we call GBEX process is actually testing very rapid field deployable way which you can actually do in the field. You don't have to have a laboratory. So neither to extract those bioactive compounds, nor to test them. So we can very rapidly look at various activities and various plants which grow in the region. And then when we leave the knowledge behind, and we leave all the materials behind, which basically will enable interested scientists working here to continue the work. After we transfer the knowledge and the skills and leave the basically materials behind, people can continue the work, and we'll be happy to hear about it, collaborating with them. But the important thing is rather we're not taking any biological materials whatsoever out of the country. We are just teaching people here how to use those GBEX approaches, simplified, rapid, efficient, very low cost, field deployable approaches to discovering novel natural products, so they can continue doing it, hopefully developing novel medicines for the benefit of people.
Teknologi UNAS beserta Universitas dari Rutgers sedang melakukan penelitian antimikroba menggunakan bahan dasar tumbuhan dan fungi, terutama fungi yang berukuran makroskopis. Nah, saya selama ini sudah pernah melakukan penelitian yang terkait dengan makrofungi yang banyak jenisnya saya dapatkan di sini. Beberapa di antaranya berpotensi sebagai bahan obat. Salah satu yang seperti yang saya lihat di sini adalah ini namanya Rigidophorus. Jamur ini sangat potensial karena dia punya senyawa antimikroba, dan ini kita lakukan secara cepat secara berkelompok di lapangan langsung, di mana dalam perlakuan kami memulai dari pengambilan sampel, kemudian melakukan ekstraksi dengan metode yang sudah dipersiapkan sampai dilakukan uji aktivitas antimikroba dengan menggunakan 3 kelompok jenis mikroba, ada dari bakteri, jamur, dan kapang, serta 1 jenis dari cacing ya. Nah, hasil yang akan diperoleh itu nanti diamati.
So during our workshop here, we first began by collecting all of the plant material here around us in the jungle. It didn't take us far to collect all of the materials. We collected 20 species, and once we brought them back to the camp, we weighed out 2 grams of their tissue, their target tissue, because some plants might have their fruits as well as their leaves tested, and so those are 2 independent extracts from one another. After we collected the 2 grams of tissue, weighed it out, we would then pulverize it with that handheld Dremel tool, fitted with the customized blade as well as a customized cap to keep everything very safe, yet very, very fast and optimal for the conditions here in Borneo. After the extract has been pulverized, that liquid is filtered through a funnel, and we take that filtered liquid now and load it onto glass fiber discs. These discs are 10 millimeters in diameter, and they can dry using what we used, battery-operated portable fan. After the discs are dried, we put them into these small Ziploc bags, put them into the freezer, and they're ready to use for our assays. For the assays, we always use a standardized 24-well plate format. We create whatever broth is required for the assays. So for example, the antifungal fusarium assay would require LB plus antibiotics, in addition to water, of course, as their growing medium. In contrast to the antifungal yeast assay, which would require LB, just like the antifungal fusarium, it requires LB as well as potato dextrose. And so we'll create these different broths, each different for every assay that's being taught here, and then add 600 microliters of the broth into the 24-well plate. Add your disc into each well. We test all of our extracts in triplicate, and after 2 days you would go ahead and add MTT, wait 2 hours, and then you would be able to gather results on a scale of 0 to 3. 3 being highest activity, 3 meaning this plant is highly antibiotic, it has killed all of the bacteria that we introduced into the assay, and 0 meaning it has no activity at all. And so these assays are qualitative here in the field. However, these broths, you can extract the MTT treated media and screen it with a spectrophotometer to get a more quantitative result. And so you can get the best of both worlds out here in the jungle as well as in the lab with these very quick, very optimized screens to nature assays.
We are at the Tuanan Orangutan Research Station in central Kalimantan, Indonesia, on the island of Borneo, and we are in the middle of doing a Screens to Nature workshop with Rutgers University faculty and Universitas Nasional, Jakarta faculty and students. And the purpose of this workshop has been to introduce new methods to understand the biological molecules that are found in plants in this area and to explore the types of benefits that the foods that the orangutans are consuming may provide for the orangutans. So for the past 2 days, we have held the workshop here at the Tuanan Research Station in order to understand the methods to use the GBEX kit, which is part of this Screens to Nature methodology, where we can bring field methods, laboratory methods, I should say, to the field, so we don't have to export samples out of the country. We can do the analyses right here with very minimal conditions.
Sahabat sekalian, demikian tadi laporan kegiatan kami di Stasiun Tuanan. Kegiatan berupa workshop dan penelitian bioeksplorasi keanekaragaman hayati di Tuanan. Kegiatan ini merupakan kerjasama antara Universitas Nasional dengan Rutgers University Amerika Serikat. Sampai jumpa.